Empty lots as far as the eye can see. All that is left of this neighborhood consumed by flames 6 months ago. And in the middle of the disaster zone, what looks like the beginning of a return to life.
This is Margot's bedroom here.
Margot Stoiber's lot was the first one to be cleared in March, and construction began a month later. She hopes to move into her new home at the end of 2025, less than a year after the fire.
A few weeks ago, it was more like I could see the cement being poured, what the outline somewhat was, but now I'm standing in the house, and it makes me obviously really happy. I want to be here, and I know I will be in a construction zone for years to come, but at least I'm at home.
In Altadena, some 60 building permits have already been issued, thanks to a fast-track process for homeowners who wish to rebuild.
There's this system that's called like for like, which means that if you do the same amount of square footage, they would look at your permits immediately. And that's what we did.
This is what the new home will look like: modern architecture and made out of fire-resistant materials.
I said, that's it. We're not doing wood anymore. We're going to build in cement block walls. Time is the same. The cost is the same. Anyways, here there's going to be more fires. This is an area that is prone to fires.
Margot and a few others are able to already rebuild because rubble has been cleared in a record amount of time, both in Altadena and in the Pacific Palisades. That is largely thanks to this man, who's being celebrated today as his mission draws to a close.
In the early days, there was a lot of, are we going to clear up? How fast is debris clearance going to be? Oh my gosh, this is so slow. So thank you for your service. Thank you to your entire team.
Colonel Swenson, who heads the Army Corps of Engineers, was in charge of cleanup operations, which were carried out by 400 soldiers and nearly 4,000 workers.
If you don't go fast, the community, sometimes people will decide it's not worth rebuilding. And so then the community will never come back as it was before. So that's why it was really, really important for us to go fast. And so we set out on a path. We hired some great contractors to help us with this mission. And the fruits of that effort resulted in 95+% of the debris removed in about 5 months.
More than 4.5 million tons of ash and rubble were cleared from the area, a relief, but also a new reality that has been hard to accept for some, like Sue Pasco, who has lived here for 30 years.
When I still had the burned house here and all the debris before it was removed, I still felt like I could come home. Somehow in my head it didn't process it had burned. But once it was all gone, I just felt like I couldn't come back to my house anymore. And once you reach that point, then you know you have to take the next step. There's no money for people to rebuild. So, and even us, I don't know, we'll start. And then, I'll start playing the lottery or something, I don't know.
Sue's main problem has been getting money from insurance. 6 months on, some residents are still negotiating certain clauses and don't know the exact amount of compensation they'll receive.
Are you guys rebuilding? What are you gonna do?
It's unclear right now because, as you can see, there's nothing there.
Yeah, that's like my house.
The insurance companies screwed me over, State Farm.
Oh, I have State Farm. They're so bad. They're really bad.
Like Sue and her neighbor, most disaster victims have had to find temporary accommodation and deal with a traumatic experience. Rebuilding can easily seem insurmountable. That is why 3 architects have launched this group. They propose low-cost model homes inspired by local style. Linda and John, who have lived in Altadena for 40 years, are here to make adjustments to the plans for their future home.
This patio here we had was 10 by 10.
Okay.
And we really used it a lot.
I think we do 10 by 12 here, and it's going to be, this doesn't change cost at all, really.
It's just been kind of nerve-wracking because we don't know what we're doing. I mean, never built a house, right?
Tim also lost everything in the fire. His advice is to take your time, despite pressure from insurance companies to move fast.
We have a lot of homeowners who are told, get a bid. Doesn't matter, just any bid to rebuild your home. Well, that's not in the homeowner's best interest to get some random thing. You want to have a bid to rebuild the home you want to rebuild. This is a marathon, and you can only win that by taking the right next step at each turn.
And in this marathon, hundreds of homeowners have already given up. Faced with the risk of another disaster or the lack of money, they've chosen to sell their land and move on, allowing property developers to take over and maybe change these neighborhoods forever.